Wow, Ashley took V? I mean, I guess she's going to be ordering people around next season.
We have a woodworker in our community. He's a real craftsman. I asked him if he could fix your stick for you.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Although, hopefully not in that way. Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video. This one's going to be doing my final review for Season 4 of The Boys. This one is for Episode 8, the season finale. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another review for today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Boys. This one's going to be doing my review. This one is for episode 8. This one used to be called Assassination Run, although on Prime it just says season finale, so I'm going to go with that. Season finale. Now, man, dear God, where do I even start with this finale, right? I mean, seriously. I'm going to try to pack this all into a review, but there is a lot to talk about. There's a lot to go into, so we're just going to jump right into it. Okay, so after the end of the last episode, obviously we had the Shapeshifter Starlight, who is, I mean, a huge, threat this episode. We basically get a scene in this one where she's kind of like trying on this dress and she's like doing all this stuff, and she asks Huey to marry him, which Huey loves Starlight, so obviously he right away is like, yes, hell yes, let's do it. And, one thing leads to another, and Huey can kind of catch on that something's wrong, And the Shapeshifter basically goes into the room where the real Annie is locked up, basically. And she rubs in her face. She's like, well, I just asked Huey to marry me, and he said yes, and we had sex, and this and that, and this is what I did, and whatever. And she comes up close to her, and she's like, I need a recharge, And I'm like, oh my God, man. I gotta say, Erin, the actress for Starlight, did a fantastic job. That was a seriously believable, villain role type of thing. It was really good. And it's cool because in this episode, obviously, you have the president or whatever that they're basically locking up or whatever, and you've got them. They're trying to keep him, down there. They're trying to keep him safe, right? Because of Homelander and him going crazy and stuff and wanting to assassinate him, basically. So you've got him that's kind of down there and stuff. And you've got MM and you've got Huey and stuff, and they're kind of sitting there and they kind of know something's off, and Huey then tells him, he's like, that's not Starlight, So then you get a big battle that goes down, basically. You've got Annie that breaks out of the chains. She hurts her arms really bad, but she manages to get out and confronts the Shapeshifter Starlight in this episode, which I thought was really cool. You've got Kimiko that, of course, fights her, which was awesome, and it was a really cool kind of battle sequence with this, this fake Starlight, the Shapeshifter, and they do take her down, and I thought it was very fitting, and I said this in a predictions video, too, is that we would see Annie actually fight, herself, in a way, you know what I'm saying? So that was really cool. She took down the Shapeshifter Starlight, she killed herself, you could also say, and, she managed to take her down, so I thought that was really cool. And Kimiko was a badass, kind of in the midst of all that, right? So that was awesome. And we do get to see, what it's like afterwards. Huey has some explaining to do. He screwed the Shapeshifter 20 times, apparently. And, he didn't really notice that it wasn't her until she started trying on the dresses and she started acting weird. And that's when Huey kind of figured it out. And Annie and him, they seem to be on good terms, but, obviously that was kind of a rough experience for Huey and a rough experience for her. So the Shapeshifter was a really interesting plot line this episode. I'll say that. It was very interesting. Now, we've also got Butcher in this episode. Now, he, of course, is in the hospital after the last one. You've got Joe Kessler that's kind of taunting him the entire time, which, Joe Kessler is, not my favorite character this season, but, he was there this episode, you know what I'm saying? And you've got Grace that comes in, right? And she kind of talks to him. She's like, yeah, your death would not be the worst thing in the world right now. And basically, you've got Ryan that gets brought over there, called over to see Butcher, to see, Grace. And we basically find out that they brought Ryan there for not the reason that they let on. He doesn't just want to see him. He doesn't want to just play games with him. He wants him to be their weapon to take down Homelander. And Butcher tells Ryan the truth about the fact that Becca was raped, and everything that Homelander has done about the flight, plane, video and stuff, all that. He tells him all that information. And Ryan does not know how to feel. He says that he needs time to think about it, and he needs to go back. And this kid is very conflicted. Still, going into the final season, I still can't tell where this kid's going to stand. But at the end, he ends up killing Grace. He ends up murdering Grace on his way out. Now, obviously, it was by accident, but he still ends up killing Grace in this episode. So that's a classic character. That's like a season 1 or down. So we lose Grace this episode by the hands of Ryan, which was insane. And, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what Ryan's going to do, but he murdered someone in cold blood, and he's going to have to deal with that, I mean, it's not the only time this season, but still, we'll have to see what side he picks. I really thought we'd get an answer to it this episode, but it doesn't really feel like we did, honestly. I mean, yeah, he could go back to Homelander, but it also, I could see it going down the other way, too. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to tell. But yeah, no, really interesting stuff. Now, we've got the stuff at the Vought Tower going on. A-Train is not in this episode, FYI. He is not involved in this episode whatsoever. You've got the meetings that are going down. You've got Homelander that, of course, is angry. He's like tearing up his room and shit like that. Making holes in the walls and stuff. And basically, they go out there and they make a statement on Firecrackers, talk show now, right? Used to be Cameron Coleman's, but now it's Firecrackers. And Firecracker this episode, she's like coughing up stuff and she's like not doing so well and stuff. And apparently, it's those drugs that it took to make her fucking milk shoot out. So, I don't know. She's kind of going through it this episode. And basically, you've got Newman that is there with them. They're kind of doing this presentation. And then Homelander just has enough of it and outs her for being a soup. So Newman is now exposed on TV for being a soup. And Newman is now pissed because now not only is she going to be at his disposal, but now, she's going to have to just, kind of be his little bitch. You know what I'm saying? So she doesn't want that. So she offers again that Huey rescues her, right? And Huey, being the guy that he is, good guy that he is, decides, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that for you, And it's really crazy. And again, we'll talk about it towards the end of the episode, but it was absolutely insane getting to see all that stuff. Huey came through for obviously Newman and her daughter, but came at a price, you know what I'm saying? So that was really exciting stuff as well, too. And all the Homelander stuff I thought was exciting. Like, the one moment where they're in the meeting room and you got, Firecracker that, is forced to go, 3 chairs away because she's coughing all over him. I'm like, oh my god. I have to admit, I was really surprised that Firecracker didn't die this episode. That is my biggest shock of this episode. Although, not that I'm complaining. She's an entertaining character, so I'm very hyped to see her in Season 5. But I was surprised, is all. I'll say that. I was expecting her to die this episode. Although more Valerie Curry as Firecracker in the final season, I'm down for that. I am super down for that. So, yeah, that's all that stuff. Now, we also get a few minor scenes in this one as well, like with the Deep, where he's, going through, basically, and this is a huge moment in this episode, where we get to see the Soups taking out, basically, all the, politicians and all the people in the Vought Tower. And you see a huge scene of that, Firecracker kills one, the Deep kills one, stuff like that. And the Deep, makes the guy, say, oh, I'm the best superhero ever, besides Homelander, of course, And then you've also got Noir, who kills the other Ashley. And Noir's like, everybody in this fucking place is named Ashley, It's like, yeah, facts. But yeah, no, so the other Ashley, the crazy ripoff one, she's dead now, too, by Black Noir. So that was cool. Now, speaking of Ashley, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. She does not die this episode either. I was shocked, man. I was expecting Ashley to be dead as a doorknob, but no, they didn't kill her either. Instead, which this is insane, she went into Homelander's room, stole V, and her fucking wig fell off and shit, but she is now turning into a soup. So Ashley is going to be a soup in season 5? I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of intrigued. I kind of wanted her dead because I was like, we don't have time for that in the final season, but no, I'm kind of intrigued now. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to see that, so I'm actually kind of glad. I'm kind of interested in seeing what the hell they're going to make her do. So, is she just going to be a big loser, or is it going to be like, oh my god, she's actually kind of scary, I don't know. I doubt she'd be scary, but we'll have to see next season. I may do an entire Ashley video, low-key, talking about that for season 5. We're going to have a lot of discussion topics coming up this week. Now, finally, let's get to the meat and potatoes, the ending, right? So Butcher comes back to the boys. And in this episode, he sees Newman there, he sees her daughter there, and he kills Newman and splits her in half. Now, we reveal at the end of the episode, and I've been saying this all season, Butcher is like a Venom type. He is. He's like, he's got the symbiote in him, and he shoots all this shit out and all that stuff. It's coming out from every direction, and he kills Victoria Newman, splits her in half right there in front of everybody, and takes the virus that Frenchie's been working on, and takes that too, and fucking leaves. Wow. And on his way out, he says, "You're all fucking welcome." So, shit, man. I mean, that's gangster as hell. It's scary because it makes you wonder now what's going to happen in the final season, of course, with Butcher, and is he going to go off the deep end like in the comics? I mean, it looks like that's where it's going, but yeah, we'll have to see. Damn, man, that was insane. So, Victoria Newman being dead, I think that's easily our biggest death of this episode. That was a big death right there. And that was one that I wasn't sure about. I was kind of 50-50 she would die in this finale, and then obviously she did. I didn't think Butcher would be the one to kill her, though. That I never would have expected that. But now we know the symbiote for sure. It's confirmed in Butcher. That's exactly what's going on with him. And again, we'll have more videos discussing that further down the week as well, too, because I have a lot of stuff to say about that as well. But it was an insane reveal, I gotta say, and it's definitely the standout scene for me of this finale. Now, we've also got Sage that goes back and helps out Homelander. That was a minor scene that we got as well, showing her loyalty still. We had Frenchie and Kimiko in this episode kissing for the first time. That was awesome. I was kind of rooting for that to happen. I've been kind of wanting it to happen. We had like that Colin shit earlier this season, and I was like, no, I would like to see Kimiko and Frenchie together. I think that would have been the best thing, and it looks like that's what we're finally getting. So that's really cool. But the season can't end happy, and I knew it couldn't end happy. Sam and Kate come back as MM splits up on his own. Butcher is off on his own, although he's somewhere else. Huey and Starlight are on their own, and then Frenchie and Kimiko are on their own. And they all basically get separated. They all basically get ganked in this one by, of course, Sam and Kate from Gen V. They stop them. They take them. And I thought it was really crazy because they even brought back Cindy as well. Cindy from that lab in season 2. They brought her back as well too. So everybody cornered our characters by the end, and it was a huge cliffhanger. And obviously, the biggest thing I'm sure you guys are wondering what I think about is the fact that Kimiko talked in this one. She yelled no when Frenchie was taken away. That broke my fucking heart, man. I mean, I can't lie. But not only that, we finally heard her speak, It shows you her relationship with Frenchie, and it shows you how much she loves him. And honestly, that is so amazing. That was such a standout for me this episode. Are we going to get a talking Kimiko in season 5? I think we are. So that's amazing. Or is it just going to be a one-time thing and then, it still doesn't happen? I don't know. But I can't wait. I cannot wait. If I get a talking Kimiko trying to rescue Frenchie in the first episode or so, oh my god, man, that's amazing. I cannot wait to see that shit. And you kind of have Butcher that drives off into the distance there at the end. So I thought that was amazing. Now finally, if you stayed till the end, awesome. If you didn't, maybe go back and watch the credits before you watch the end of this review. We reveal at the end of the episode the Homelander, after the death of Grace, finds out about Soldier Boy. And he finds out that Soldier Boy is alive. And we actually see Soldier Boy briefly in that, thing, right? That they locked him up in. And it looks like Homelander's probably going to fucking break him out. So I am very excited for that because Soldier Boy is one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites in season 3. So one of my favorites of the show in general. So I'm very excited to see more from him. But yeah, guys, that is the end of season 4. I loved the finale. I thought it was absolutely stellar. It was really fantastic. It was a great way to conclude everything. And it left so much to, kind of see too. All of our characters getting captured at the end. What's the involvement now with Sage and Homelander? What's that going to be? Firecracker's still alive and stuff like that. She's losing Homelander's respect. Soldier Boy's coming back into the fold now. Symbiote Butcher's now a thing, and all this stuff. I mean, there's so much to look forward to. There's so much to look forward to. But for season 4, that's it, guys. For this finale, 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, post comments down below, guys. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button to miss any other videos for the boys. Be sure to follow me at Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for the boys. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.